Good morning, kids.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you?
Thank you, ma'am.
Good. So let's start. Janvi, can you solve the following division sums written on the board?
Yes, ma'am. I'll solve them in my notebook.
Okay. But can you tell me whether 45,686 is divisible by 2 just by looking at it?
How come, ma'am?
Yes, you can, Janvi. And in today's class, we are going to learn about divisibility rule of numbers 2 to 10.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Let's start. First divisibility rule is of 2. A number is divisible by 2 if it has any of the digits 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8 in its ones place. We can say if the last digit of a number is an even number, then that whole number is divisible by 2. For example, in number 5946, 6 is the last digit and 6 is an even number, so it is divisible by 2. So if 6 is divisible by 2, then we can say the whole number 5946 is also divisible by 2. Tapasya, can you tell me 3658 is exactly divisible by 2 or not?
Yes, ma'am. It is divisible because the last number is 8 and 8 is divisible by 2. That is why the whole number 3658 is also divisible by 2.
Very good, Tapasya. Next rule of 3. If the sum of the digits is a multiple of 3, then the number is divisible by 3. We can say if a number is given and we have to check the divisibility of 3, we will add all the digits of the given number, and if the sum is divisible by 3, then whole number is divisible by 3. Let's take an example. 2139 is divisible by 3 or not. So we will add all the digits, that is 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 9. We get the answer 15. And we know 15 is divisible by 3. So we can say the whole number 2139 is also divisible by 3. Kunal, can you tell me 569 is exactly divisible by 3 or not?
Ma'am, on adding 5, 6 and 9, we get the answer 20. And we know that 20 is not divisible by 3. So we can say that 569 is not exactly divisible by 3.
Good. Now moving on, let's see the divisibility rule of 4. A number is divisible by 4 if its last two digits, that is ones and tens, is divisible by 4. So, to check whether a given number is exactly divisible by 4 or not, we will see the last two digits of a number. If those last two digits are divisible by 4, then that whole number is divisible by 4. Let's take an example. We have to check whether 4612 is divisible by 4 or not. So, we will check the last two digits of the number, and here the last two digits are 1 and 2, that is 12. And we know that 12 is exactly divisible by 4. So, we can say that whole number 4612 is also divisible by 4. Moving on to number 5. A number which has either 0 or 5 in its ones place is divisible by 5. We have to check whether the last digit of the given number is 0 or 5. If it is 0 or 5, then that number is divisible by 5. Let's take an example. Number 435 is divisible by 5 or not. We are going to check the last number of 435. The last number is 5, so we can say that whole number 435 is divisible by 5. Om, 7680 is exactly divisible by 5 or not?
Yes, ma'am. It is exactly divisible by 5 because it has 0 in the ones place.
Very good, Om. Next number is 6. If a number is divisible by 2 and 3, both, then it is divisible by 6. If we have to check whether the number is divisible by 6 or not, we will first check whether that number is divisible by 2 and 3 both. And if it is divisible by 2 and 3 both, then that number is divisible by 6 also. Let's take an example. 396 is exactly divisible by 6 or not. So to check whether the number is divisible by 6, first of all we will check whether the number is divisible by both 2 and 3. So first let's check whether the number is divisible by 2 or not. The last digit of the number 396 is 6 and 6 is divisible by 2. So that whole number 396 is divisible by 2. Now let's check whether the number is divisible by 3 or not. On adding all the digits 3, 9 and 6, we got the answer 18, and 18 is exactly divisible by 3. So we can say 396 is also divisible by 3. As we know, 396 is divisible by both 2 and 3, therefore it is also divisible by 6. Moving on to number 7. On multiplying last digit of the number with 2 and subtracting it from remaining digits, if we get 0 or a number divisible by 7, then that number is divisible by 7. So to check whether the number is divisible by 7 or not, we will check the last digit and we will multiply it with 2, and then we will subtract that number from the remaining given number. If the answer is 0 or a number which is divisible by 7, then that whole number is divisible by 7. Coming on example, 413 is divisible by 7 or not. So first of all we will check the last digit. Last digit is 3. We are going to multiply 3 with 2. So 3 2s is 6. Now we will subtract this 6 from the remaining number, that is 41, and we will get the answer 35. And we know 35 is exactly divisible by 7, due to which the whole number 413 is also divisible by 7. Next number is 8. A number is divisible by 8 if its last 3 digits, that is ones, tens and 100, are divisible by 8. So, to check whether the number is divisible by 8, we will check last 3 digits of the given number. If those last 3 digits are divisible by 8, then that whole number is also divisible by 8. Let's take an example. 8168 is exactly divisible by 8 or not. So, to check that, we will check the last 3 digits of the number, and the digits are 1, 6 and 8. And we know 168 is exactly divisible by 8, due to which we can say that 8168 will also be exactly divisible by 8. Moving on to number 9. If the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 9, then the number itself is divisible by 9. So to check whether a number is divisible by 9 or not, we will add all the digits of the given number, and if that sum is divisible by 9, then whole number is also divisible by 9. Coming on example, let's take a number 4608. We have to check whether it is divisible by 9 or not. So first of all we will add all the digits of the number, that is 4 plus 6 plus 0 plus 8, and we are getting 18 as the answer. And we know that 18 is divisible by 9. So we can say that whole number 4608 is also divisible by 9. Moving on to the last number, that is 10. If a number has 0 in its ones place, then it is divisible by 10. If we have to check whether a number is divisible by 10 or not, we will just check the last digit of the number. If the last digit is 0, then that number is divisible by 10. Let's take an example. 8790 is divisible by 10 or not. We will check the last digit of the number, and the last digit is 0. So we can say 8790 is divisible by 10. So students, I hope divisibility rules of number 2 to 10 is clear to you all. I have given you some homework. Copy it down in your notebooks. That's all for today. Be at home, stay safe and keep learning. Thank you.